my Chumbas. Let me invite you. Many of you are huge fans of Cyberpunk and Cyberpunk Edge Runners. We're going to talk about the TTRPG version of the game, but particularly all about Edge Runners. I'm going to give you like a brief rundown of the original version of Edge Runners. There are several key characters in the original TTRPG game, that's Tabletop RPG, for those who don't know, that never appear in the anime, or if they did appear, it might have been a quick, scene. Probably didn't notice it. I sure didn't, but I'm not about to comb through the entire anime again. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go through several characters, and we're just gonna vibe with this, okay? All right, here we go. This is Edge Runners, Inc. from the original Cyberpunk 2020 TTRPG sourcebook. This is the OG of the OG. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. So, even though characters like Lucy and David are not in this particularly, I believe a few characters were at least inspired from them, or like they were the template, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things here that was not said in the game nor in the anime. Like for instance, Edge Runners itself, that's just a short term people use for mercenaries, right? And that's fine. But no, in the game, not the video game, I'm talking about the TTRPG game, it was an actual company. So Edge Runners Inc. is a division of Street Temps Company. That's the name of the Merc Group that runs this high-tech company in Night City. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that you don't know about. Like for example, okay, so yes, they have their own fixers and whatnot. That's like in the game as well, and in the anime. But it's a whole entire building. It's not like separate divisions or whatever. It's one gigantic building where all the mercs can go to and just get their assignments, basically. We got a whole history. I'm not gonna go through all that. We'll go through this stuff later on. But look at this shit though. They got their own little staff right here. Like Michael Hobson is the owner of this. Jill Tomasolu, I'm butchered that name, is net operator and computer maintenance, or a techie. David Jacobs is security operations. So he's basically the hustle, or a security officer if you want. Joey Chang is financial officer, and Evelyn Kiritine, I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry, is chief operations officer. Now, we're gonna get into these net runners, these edge runners. Well, it's both actually, half and half. But these are the characters for hire, all right? And when we say for hire, it means like, say you wanna make a game of Cyberpunk, whatever, you can use any of these characters, they're for free. You can just mess around with them. As long as you got the background about right, it's fine. First up, we got Bosch. No one's sure where this bounty hunter came from. Acquaintances say he was a beat cop in the New York area for several years and dismissed from the force in 2011 for attacking a superior officer. God damn. Allegedly, the officer ordered Bosch shoot a street kid who hadn't done anything except splash on the officer's boots. After hearing he had his badge revoked, Bosch became despondent. He had no interest in joining the military, but he was bored and needed the action. He returned to his old precinct where a new commander had been assigned and began picking up bounties. After a couple of successful kills and captures, he persuaded the new commander to issue him a hot beep, the mini transmitter undercover cops use when they need to call for help. When Bosch called in a raid on a massive snuff porno operation, he became a trusted freelancer with the department. Jesus. And see, he's specializing in smart guns and Sanavician. Sanavician. I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying, I think, partially anyway, I think this might be a template for David. I could be wrong though. But, you never know. It's not that much to change when we think about it. Not really. And next up, we got Lynx. February 1997, cover of Newsweek magazine featured an award-winning photographer of a little girl gripping a melted polymer one-shot pistol. She is staring wide-eyed around the ruins of Coney Island after 3 days of rioting destroyed the neighborhood. Shit. The girl is emaciated and filthy. Bleeding from a deep gash in her forehead. The streets are lined with rubble, and the body of a dead cop can be seen in the background. The company story, America, the end is here. Discuss how the US was falling apart. Linda Kolarev was that little girl. Lynx entered the booster parkour scene in her preteens. God damn, her preteens? Her initiation involved multiple beatings and a sexual assault. Holy shit, this is fucking dark. Outfitted with a new set of claws, she began slashing away around her Brighton Beach neighborhood. Linda became a full member when she murdered her junkie mother. In the following years, as Booster Gang Wars racked New York, I hope I read that right, Lynx enthusiastically joined in. By age 17, most of her old set was dead or doing hard time. New gangs had taken over her area, and the final blow came when Lynx's brother was chainsawed to death by the Givers of Pain. Holy fucking shit! With the invasion of Brazil still underway, Linda joined the army and was assigned to the 1st Cybercav, where she served for 3 years. Returning to New York, Lynx became involved with crime and black ops, establishing a rep for herself. Her lover, the only person she ever got close to, got into Aerobiz over his head. So, Aerobiz, that sounds like a old school version of NFTs. Would shock anybody that was NFTs. Will this shock anyone? His murder further hardened her. Lynx worked with the Brain, see entry, a few times and sometimes hangs out with him between jobs. She is involved with affirmative action. Okay. That's some hardcore shit right there. God damn. Woo! Now we're not gonna go through all of these, but I will say, some of these get pretty fucking dark, so if I didn't warn you now, I'll warn you at the beginning of the video if I haven't already. But yeah, we're not gonna go through all, but I want to at least get through a few particular ones I want to get to, so let's get to that right now. Now, here's something for your ass. Chrome Man. Yes, this is a character in Edgerunners TTRPG version of the game. Chrome Man. Oh, it's gonna get real wild here. No one knows about Chrome Man before he started working as a bouncer in a seedy club that catered to the more violent music lover. Obviously from a military background, he refused to discuss his earlier life, saying he was only born recently when he got borged up. So he got a full body conversion of being a Borg. Oh, fuck. Since his arrival, he has quickly built a reputation as either really mad or about to go completely cyber psychotic. Oh, he's cyber psycho. He's on the verge of becoming a cyber psycho. Holy shit. Chrome Man's cold disregard for the numbers, firepower, and or psychosis of his opponents has made him a valued, if not liked, member of many Edgerunner groups. He seems to have spent considerable money on his chroming and body sculpting. Yeah, look at that shit, man. He is, goddamn. It was designed by the renowned EG of Tokyo and is worth over 20,000 eddies. He is sculpted to look like a cross between a knight and an organic engine. What? Probably borderline psychotic before becoming a body-plated colossus. His remaining personality has become weirder and more violent. For example, Chrome Man tends to live in a world of his own, ignoring people and single-mindedly following his own strange impulses. This led to him trespassing through both corporate and gang no-go areas while in the process of going somewhere else. So in other words, don't fuck with this guy. Here we go. I was hoping to get to this part. My favorite one, Nutter. His name is Nutter. It gets nuttier. I swear I was trying to make a joke out of that, but it's true. So yeah, he is really radically different compared to everybody else. I wish he was in the actual Edgerunners anime. That would have been fascinating for y'all to see that shit. And his real name is Jean-Claude Monroe. No comment. Coming from a non-corporate sponsored Canadian archaeology started young, Jean-Claude Monroe's life at a disadvantage. Uneducated and always bored, John could not see nothing in his immediate future. Ooh, that grammar. After he and his brothers and sisters were thrown out of the family apartment when their mother died. Where? Instead of where? Some grammar issues here, but that's okay. They split up and Jean-Claude joined the USMC. There he learned something very well: combat. Okay. After 2 tours of duty, at least one in Central America, he left the Marines and joined a small firm specializing in corporate security. His air of professionalism quickly got him the high-risk bodyguard jobs. He basically became a hustle. And his success of these contracts meant that he had several corporates owing him their lives. Jean-Claude is quite happy to hold on to that debt. Saying retired after 5 years in the business, he is looking for an occasional high-risk job to keep him sharp and interesting in life. His cyberware is unique, by the way. He basically has a bioenhancement of a skin change of heavy scales, natural claws, combat tail, and Spitfire flame implants to make himself look like a fucking dragon. So this dude is walking around Night City looking like a fucking dragon. He looks like somebody's nightmare. Look at this fucker. Holy fucking shit. I do not want to run to that in the alley. No. Mihoshi Oni. Following her brother's footsteps and benefiting from a more enlightened time, Mihoshi Oni joined the Yakuza and was taught all the combat skills she would need to survive through the rough streets. Showing her eagerness for the act of killing, she was soon awarded most of the wet work that needed doing. As she got older, she was taught by several masters of the sword and skilled silent movements. Mihoshi was an apt pupil and soon became an expert in these older combat arts. Having been implicated twice for murder in the course of her various missions, she spirited away to avoid arrest by authorities and quietly retired from the Yakuza. They do not see her as unconnected, but Mihoshi is now building a separate reputation for herself as a Yojimbo, a bodyguard. She's a hustle, basically. This hasn't led her into conflict or ex-bosses yet, but it could. And her cyberware is also kind of unique. It has a lifesaver skinware and muscle bone lace. So basically, she can just get rid of pain altogether. She heals quick, real quick. You can see the cyberware that's listed right there. But yeah, basically, she's a badass bitch. Who I compare her to, I'm not even sure. I kind of want to know what her size is, because if I could kind of make the comparison, I would almost say this might be a template for Rebecca. Maybe, but kind of doubtful too. But like I said, she feels like a Tiger Claw. You know what I mean? This feels like a Tiger Claw type of bio going on here. So, all right, here's something of note. Electric Angel. Brought up with computers, Sarah was immersed in the jargon of the information communication highway, or the super information highways we said back in the 90s. Yeah, we really called it that back then. Yeah, it was stupid. We hated that name too. That's what we shorthanded to the internet, and finally just the net. In her family's various jobs with the assistance for the emerging multinational corporations, she went away to university to study computers, but her interests lay in other fields. She quickly dropped the computer studies for a media course. She excelled, but kept returning to the area of computing and found herself reporting as a freelancer on the explosion of the net onto the world scene. She was in the right place at the right time, having experience to be able to understand the net and the skills to communicate it to the general public. This brought her to the attention of Network 54/Britain, and they proceeded to seduce her into a long-term contract with them for a net-based news show called Angel Hour after her net handle. It has become one of the most watched non-fiction shows on Network 54, particularly in Great Britain, and the content where it's often banned, combining a documentary with a gossip show. Sarah works hard uncovering illegalities on the net, making her friends. Some are wanted like Netwatch, but lots of corp enemies as well. A carefree, easygoing young woman, she sees herself as making sure that the net is accessible to all to use, not just a few corporate elites. Perhaps as her selling out to Network 54 on the basis that they give her the freedom to do her thing, while shackling her to the Network 54 company line. So basically, she's a solo/media person, but also on the side, they kind of hinting she's a net runner, which I think is fitting. So looking at her now, I got a feeling she might have been a template for Lucy. This might be a template for her. I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying I'm seeing some little comparisons here and there. It's small though, but I can see it. Again, if these characters showed up in the anime, if at all, I doubt they did. I did not notice at all. Somebody else can comb through that shit. But yeah, I got a feeling she was loosely based off this. At least, little elements here and there. By the way, why I got you here, if you haven't done it already, please subscribe, share, and leave a like on this video, okay? I appreciate if you did. It helps me out in the algorithm a lot. Also, comment in the videos below if you want to see more of these or something like it, because I love showing these concept designs and whatnot. And plus, we're in our channel. This is what we do. I want to see different art styles, different style. It doesn't matter. This whole entire book is like from the 1980s. It looks dated, but there are some interesting things in here that still holds up even today. So, can I say, man, I just love this. This is awesome. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, it's a different one right here. Dr. Snoopy. Dr. Snoopy. He's a med techie. Born to a middle-ranked criminal family, the young Snoopy was protected from his family's dealings and family profits were used to send him to university to study medicine. However, he was suddenly dragged into the family's work when his parents were killed by a rival crime chief. Not long afterwards, he realized the money-making potential of his skills. His first step of designer drug production led quickly to arrest and prison for 2 years. Shit. Where he learned to refine his methods, especially on the distribution side, and some harsh lessons in survival, the use of concealed weapons. With the last of his family's money, he bought his parole and some useful cyberware. Leaving prison to make his way on the street, he began acting as a Ripper Doc for the street slime in Cyberpunk's a childhood synonym of Dr. Snoopy. Upset his entire early life until age 22 was a tissue of lies. Dr. Snoopy had no respect for himself or others, seeing everyone as tools to use so he can better himself. He has become a doctor who is willing to take risks with his own and others' lives, caring nothing for the pain of his patients or whether a person dies under his knife. God fucking damn. The one dream he still clings to is to control his own large-scale drug laboratory, making products for his own use and for street sale. He will betray anyone or any ideal to reach his dream, regardless of any future backlash on himself or anyone else. So, just looking at him now, his design, it does loosely remind me of David's Ripper Doc a little bit. So they probably might have been influenced from his design to make that, which is not too out there anyway, because his Ripper Doc was kind of, he was pushing it. He was pushing a little bit. He did fairly warn David, but he was pushing it still. Could have stopped any time, but he didn't. Now this one's a little different. Victor Crow. He's a fixer. Victor Crow was one of the lucky ones. His childhood was wealth and security in a place where black-clad, gun-coating guards offer salutes on well-manicured landscapes. He went to company schools and became an employee of IEC after graduation. A life nothing short of pampered drudgery. From childhood, he had learned the rules of the game and quickly carved his own niche in corporate society. At the customary parties, he was the model executive child. Then he snuck off like everybody else to screw and do simp coke all night. So on the side, basically he was doing that nice sugar, that nose sugar, you know what I'm saying? Oh man. Oh, hi guys, how you doing? How you doing, guys? Victor never liked cyberware. He never saw the point to altering yourself, never found any appeal in becoming metal, but he knew there was money to be made as he watched sales ledgers grow exponentially. Fattened by fools, he couldn't do without their precious cybernetics. Then he met Dana, the daughter of the marketing VP, at a party. She had forgotten her pills, and Victor had all kinds of chemicals keep her happy. They immediately hit it off. They also had the same philosophy when it came to cyberware. The pair began their own little venture, making top-grade metal disappear from warehouses, skimming out the top and raking in a small fortune. Mom and Dad would have been proud. Until the day internal investigations came around and Mom and Dad were demoted to minor clerical positions. In a blind panic, Victor swapped some names, juggled some numbers, burned a few documents, and in the space of an hour, neatly dumped the whole blame in Dana's lap. Dana's father was removed from his position. Dana was blacklisted forever. Shit. What an asshole, man. That weekend at a party in Baltimore, several gentlemen from marketing, accompanied by a dozen or so chromers, nearly tore Victor to shreds. Holy fuck. His company accounts had been canceled, so Victor was rushed to a nearby trauma clinic. He packed up and fled the hospital the following Monday, bandages and all. Damn. And he has absolutely no cyberware, but he's got a lot of cyberware tech on his person, though. So, you know, he's a dealer. Makes sense. I can see. One little bonus, Hand, who's a fixer. If I'm not mistaken, that is in Cyberpunk 2077, or at least a character who's very similar to him, but I remember someone called Hands. I'm very, very certain of that. He's a fixer, so this counts. I'm counting it. Hand was an uncertain background, originally coming from one of the many combat zones that sprung around the violent cities of Miami. The son of a fugitive drug smuggler, he was brought up by his elder sister. He saw that those with power derived it from their ability to make things happen. He took this to heart and quickly became an invaluable person to know. To virtually everyone, he was the person to see if you needed something or someone. This quickly brought him enemies and friends in equal proportions, eventually leading to his betrayal to a rival. Now he's on the run, pursued by a Miami-based corp. His earlier life on the streets preparing him well for survival. The latest attempt by a fellow fixer to correct an error left him minus his right arm, and his hand has even turned this to his advantage by building a reputation around his very visible chrome and neon cyber arm. A pop-up pistol has also meant he always ready now. His major motivation in life is to escape the streets and to be able to retire. He's looking for that elusive big score, but so far he's only managed to keep ahead of his bills. The street has also left him with a detached viewpoint, viewing his clients as separate from himself. That sounds like Hands. However, he will help anyone he sees as a true friend, including laying his life on the line for them. Luck for him so far, he hasn't had to prove this too many times. Okay, he's got a cyber arm. Yeah, that checks out. And we're gonna stop here at the very last one, Susie Clove. She's a techie. Susie comes from a mulatto Irish stock. All her family was involved in working with their hands. As a result, Susie showed an interest in all things electrical, and cybernetics in particular. This field is her fascination. She has spent large amounts of money on cyberware trying to become a full body conversion before the actual technology existed, and survived the experience, long months spent in cyberpsychosis therapy. Shit. Her earlier life was dominated by cyberware and its acquisition, leading her to engage in illegal activities, robbery, forgery, etc. As a result, she has spent time on various wanted hot lists, EBM, trauma team, certain state police agencies. This regard for authority has made her rep among the street action. Her quick and effective repairs and rebuilds have resulted in limited friendships with certain edge runners. Susie has several lovers in the past, but most were before she borged up herself and became completely absorbed in technical stuff to the exclusion of all else. So I'd say at least a good percentage of her body is just cyberware straight up. Damn. But you know what? I don't know what it is. I kind of like the design for her. It's kind of quirky in a way. It's quirky, you know? But yeah, cyberpsychosis is a thing, man. It fucks up you hard in the game, both the TTRPG and the video game version, and of course the anime, which mentions it several times as well and happens to several characters. And we're gonna stop right there. So I thank you for joining me for this. If you want to see more videos like this, we're talking about the concept designs, how they look, and what they never used in the anime or the video game, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. That being said, please join my Discord. Please check my website for getting your own commissioned art from me. Ditto for my Patreon as well. Also, I have merch. You can check the links below. They're all below there. You can find them. And if you really like this video or you appreciate what I'm doing for you, or I left some good information for you, super thanks. That little heart bottom, one of them. I mean, if you want. Up to you. I'll leave the choice to you, buddy. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. But I want to check out this next video coming up soon, so I'll see you over there.